Islam is headed to Madison Square Garden to fight Jack Della Maddalena. According to Khabib, let some news out. It was interesting. He's very secretly funny. And I don't think Khabib would have done this, but Ali was sitting there. Ali's the manager. And it would kind of be incumbent upon Ali that Khabib not put it out. Nobody can put it out, but Ali's the one that's got to hear it from Dana, right? So I believe that Khabib put this out just to watch Ali squirm, which, by the way, qualifies as funny. But either way, I also think that it's accurate information. It just makes me wonder, is that the main event? So, Islam versus Jack, Madison Square Garden, November. Does that headline? That is such a compelling match, and it is a pivotal match for the division. The only way you are going to get Islam and Ilya is if Jack wins. Now, that doesn't guarantee you Islam Ilya, and it certainly doesn't help to make that fight more interesting, but it's the only way you would even have a chance of getting Islam to weigh 155 pounds again. Now, I share it from that perspective because it really is pivotal. Pivotal? What's so hard about this new pivotal? And if Jack is to win, where does that take him and where does that spin him? Where does his career go? And the reason you can't answer that question, the reason you haven't heard any rumors of that, is nobody's expecting Jack to win. That's a problem for selling out the Garden, except you have a reality. And the reality is Jack is one hell of a hard fight. His style and his skill. If Jack weighed 170 and Islam weighed 155, Jack could beat him. If they both weigh 170, it'll make it harder on Jack, and I don't know, and I'm not ready to give you an analysis. I'm just saying, if they were the same and Jack just had that little small advantage, it would be enough. Like, Jack is right there with Islam, but that doesn't matter. It has to be, the only way you can make money is with an anticipation. There has to be an anticipation. It has to be done ahead of time. It does not matter how great a fight is, or if it gets clipped off and it gets put on SportsCenter. It doesn't make any bit of difference. The buttons and the tickets have to be done prior. So I'm just asking you, is that a main event at Madison Square Garden? And I sure think so. Yeah, I sure think so. I admit that it must be joined with a supporting cast. Joshua Van and Pantoja is not the world's biggest fight, but I'm just saying that that's a title fight that for sure will not main event anything. I believe Weili and Valentina is a lot closer to getting announced. I could see that as a supporting fight. But yeah, I think that Jack versus Islam can definitely headline the Garden. And one thing about it, one thing where we wouldn't even be having this conversation is if Islam was still the world champion. Now, that would have been a scumbag move by the UFC, which would have been done purely for marketing reasons, but they had the right to pull that move. They chose to not put marketing in front of brand. Just so you understand. I mean, if this was champion versus champion, that would be the super fight. That would be an ultimate super fight. We've only been treated to 5 of those in history of champion versus champion. But that isn't the case. It's former champion versus champion, and it does change things from a marketability standpoint. Tom Aspinall has played Madison Square Garden. He has not headlined it. Just to put in perspective for you. So, in your minds, guys that are big because you're a hardcore, versus the reality, you got to weigh that. And Jack is the champion. And doesn't that make it interesting? Jack is the one being questioned here. Jack is the underdog. Jack is the one being questioned. Can he, in fact, headline Madison Square Garden? We understand Islam, and Islam's over. He's the most famous Muslim athlete in the world. We understand that he's going for basically a history making, or at least a tie history, by being a 2-division champion. We don't question him. How in the hell are you going to question the guy with the belt? It's a great match. It's a lot closer match than you think it is. It's also a pivotal match. We're 2 different divisions, we're 2 different athletes, we're 2 different worlds go from here. I mean, what an incredibly difficult position to put Islam in if he loses. Now you're going to have a choice. Are you going to run back to 55, which, by the way, isn't the way you left it? There's a new king. Or do you start reclaiming the ladder at 170? It's an interesting question. Not one that I believe Team Islam is considering. I believe they are expecting to win. Jack versus Islam as the Garden. Supporting cast, co-main event, possibly Josh Van versus Pantoja, possibly Wei Li versus Valentina. Yeah. That works.